Laku, give up the ghost, all round brown cow. My baptismal name is Clyde Darnell Lynch, all rights reserved without prejudice. I am Prince Clyde Darnell Lynch. Equality and fairness by contract is paramount, mandatory by law. Amen. Today's date and time is 12:05 p.m., January 14, 2015. Now, the 6 to 8 audio recorders that have been lost off my thumb drive because all of a sudden my thumb drive, everything has a shortcut, is some of the files has been hacked where it's different symbols and stuff on my file and they can't open all the recording. It's just a blank space now, all this and that. It's a shame that DPL can't have a secure system. And when you confront them about it, they'll say, we don't have nothing to do about it. Maybe something happened somewhere else and all this and that. Private public businesses always try to put the blame on the citizen or something else instead of just accepting the fact. Why did you have a hackathon to find the hole in your system? And why they keep on, why private businesses, the media, advertisement companies still putting out this credit, this internet is safe. Oh, get your MasterCard today with the little music stars on it promoting a hackable, unsecure instrument for the citizens to use. And when the citizen get hacked, they'll say, oh, you on your own. Credit reporting people say, oh, you on your own. We just provide a service. You have to have system and safeguards to know when someone's in your system. So if the credit reporting company don't have nothing or the government don't have nothing to protect the citizens, and when citizens' identity gets stolen, their credit get messed up, their money, the bank be gone. Now they talking about we'll secure your equity on your home. Now, if the mortgage agent knows you, they know this is not you who coming in signing paperwork. The mortgage agent would know it's not you. Oh, that's not Mr. Lynch right there. He coming in with talking about he want equity and all this and that. Sometimes you could do it over the internet. And the internet is not safe, point blank, period. Your car is hackable. Run you right into a tree pole. But what I want to talk about is this police beating up the carjacker that carjacked a woman with her kids in the car, put a gun to her head. That's shameful for what he did and what the police did. The police is nothing but a corrupt gang that get paid by the citizens. And you can say that guy deserved it for carjacking the lady and the kids. You can say, so I know somebody who said that's what they get. I know people will say that's what he get. He got beat up by the police. But the police don't supposed to do that. Oh, they mad and because the adrenaline was pumping, they had to run after them and catch them. And they kicked them and beat them. We only seen 30 seconds or 1 minute of actually what happened that a person has 9 minutes of. So let's say they was whooping on them for 9 minutes plus. That 1 minute whooping, oh, he had a gun in his waistband. He was justified to get him to comply. Well, I seen my man had his hands handcuffed behind him. He was not moving. And if he was moving, he wasn't going nowhere. He was surrounded by 2 officers. And one officer put his hands in the air like, yeah, yeah, celebrating the beat down. That's what they do. The police will make us citizens fight back or resist so they can beat them down. It's countless moments I have had with the police, and they'll say to you, you know you got a bench warrant. I hand them paperwork saying I took care of this, I got a court date. And the police officers will look at you, look at the paperwork because they want to beat you down and look at you and say, you know you still have a bench warrant in the system. Man, I just hand you a piece of paper. You can call, verify, call that shit in. But I don't say nothing like that. I just shrug my shoulder and don't say shit to them because they want you to respond so they can beat you down. That's how corrupt it is. And when you go to court, the court judge will say, well, Mr. Skoskowski, Officer Skoskowski, how long you been an officer, Mr. Officer Skoskowski? I've been an officer for 20 years. Mr. Koskowski been an officer. Then the judge look at the person in the courtroom and say, Mr. Koskowski have been a police officer for over 20 years. I think he knows the law. That's how the game is played, ladies and gentlemen. The House of Due Process, aiding, abetting, and accepting the fraudulent activities of police officers. Oh, I won plenty of court cases, and I didn't know what the world I was talking about. The officer said I was lying. And I'm looking at the judge like, blase, I'm telling the truth. Some people may already heard this audio record or this, or some of these issues I had with the police in the court system. I won a lot of court cases with no attorney. Won a lot of court cases just by talking, speaking the facts or whatever. And now this officer in the courtroom, when we get out the courtroom, he said, yo, man, you good. So I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? I told the truth up in there. Then 2 weeks later, I go back to the scene of the issue, and there goes no U-turn stop sign in front of the police precinct over there on Elmhurst and Livernois. I said, Your Honor, I've never seen the police, U-turn sign. I do U-turns in front of that place all the time with the police coming out of the parking lot, going in. I ain't never been pulled over. I'm going to the tire shop to get a tire. I'm on my way to work. I'm not going to get into the details, but I may jog some people's memory. And the officer on the way walking out of the courtroom, he could say, you good. I'm looking at him like he's still trying to hem me up. The officer told the truth. I told the truth of the facts that I knew at that time. But later on, it was a no U-turn sign. And that judge just looked at me, looked at the officer and said, case dismissed. He was like, he don't want to hear it no more. Because some of these people know how corrupt the officer is, but the officer was telling the truth. I was telling the truth to the fact of the knowledge that I knew. I never seen a no U-turn sign right there. And I was telling the truth, but I was telling a lie, but I didn't know it. The officer said it was a no U-turn. He was speeding and all this and that. He did it. I heard skitch mark. I said, man, I had a donut on and it was wet. So, of course, it's going to make a skeet mark or whatever when you turn it on a donut and it's wet. He was at a high rate of speed, all this and that. So you can say the officer was telling the truth or maybe not, was fibbing a little bit, trying to make his case so I could get a ticket. Okay, judge just said case dismissed. That's one issue. But then you have all the organizations out here, police brutality. Now, this is a misuse, mishandling of citizens' worth and value. No organization should have got involved in it. The Chief Craig co-signed the illegal, unfavorable actions of the police officer. He co-signed it. So that's why we get beat down as citizens, and that's why citizens get caught up in resisting arrest and all that. Some are real criminals, want to get away. But this right here, the video was on the news. The news reported. The news even know nothing gonna be done with it. The news doing their job, reporting the news. Somebody gave them a video or whatever. I gave the news media a whole bunch of information. All the recordings of corrupt police officers, government officials telling me a lie. Don't know the law, chief deputy of police and all this and that. Corrupt actions done. Police officer dislocate my shoulder. They saying I'm resisting arrest, and they use my family own words against me, and they know my family is mentally disturbed. And they make a fraudulent police report on me and send me to a mental facility, take $6,000 worth of guns and weapons and ammo, and said it was only $1,200 worth of property. Come on, man. It was no crime committed. Where my money? Then I'm going to get you for making a fraudulent police report. Officer won't take a polygraph test. But when we in the court system or being questioned by a police officer, they'll ask the citizen, the person in question being interrogated, would you like to consent to a polygraph test? But they don't hold up in the court of law. And I have arguments with citizens saying they don't hold up in the court of law. And I'm like, man, how many court cases have you heard and know people that was being interrogated by the police, and they say, do you want to consent? The key word is consent to a polygraph test. And how many times a judge and the prosecuting attorney will ask a person in court, would you like to consent to a polygraph test? And we up in the House of Due Process, and they asking the citizens, do they want to consent? And if they say yeah, thinking they can beat allowed to take the test, I know how you can beat one. Call police officer told me how you could beat a polygraph test. Told everybody at my ex-employer how you beat the polygraph test. And I told everybody how you beat the polygraph test on Facebook and whoever I spoke with. So now you up in the courtroom, the judge asking you, prosecuting attorney, and these are people that supposed to know the law. No, that don't hold up in the count of law. It's just for entertainment purposes. But like I keep on saying, it was federal grant money for a polygraph technician, examiner to go through the school. He got tax money, tax dollars, but it don't hold up in the court of law. And the inventor of the polygraph test received private donations or private funds from a corporation or the government to create that live polygraph test machine device. So the malfunction is we are so dysfunctionally programmed and brainwashed to believe what the power that be want us to believe in the protocols. And the police officer, my issue will not take a polygraph test. James Craig should know my issue. Every police precinct know my issue. Anybody can call any police precinct and say, I want Clyde Darnell Lynch, email complaints to your precinct from January the 1st, 2014 to present, and they'll say, we don't know who you talking about. Have me on the two-way and say, this is Mr. Lynch right here. You don't have nothing on me? Man, all these people are corrupt, and we paying them. No organization don't supposed to be getting involved in this. Because soon as the Wayne County prosecuting attorney see that, the law department see that, send my man to Camp Cupcake. Oh, you ain't going to the hard prison system. Send him to Camp Cupcake. That's another federal funded where prisoners that violated constitutional laws, contracts get to go where they can go to a summer day camp, play golf, have visitors, walk around, don't have to worry about getting beat up, ain't got to worry about getting sexually assaulted, don't have to worry about experiments in their food that they eat, experimental drugs in their prison food system. They don't have to worry about none of that. So just tell my man he can go to Camp Cupcake for getting beat down, as corrupt and dirty as he is. Another corrupt organization trying to convict a criminal. That's a conflict of interest. And some people may not know what I'm talking about. It's so puzzling that these bright, conscious, educated, diploma, certificate-holding people just getting a free ride on taxpayer dollars. And I talked to some of these organizations, and they have no clue who I am, never seen my emails, don't remember talking to me, and all my criminal information on my thumb drive is gone because government and private public businesses working together to violate citizens' human rights. If I got hacked indiscriminately by any Tom, Dick, Harry, it is what it is. But don't say put it on me. Say my system was corrupted. Your system is corrupted. And you know why you doing it. Because I got stuff on you. And I still have to use a system reluctantly because that's all I have. Because if I get remedy, recourse, redress, due process in the court system, Justice Department know who I am. I put their own words, paperwork on the internet, and people, I contact, email people. I'm not talking about people who I contacted. I say in certain people it applies to, certain people don't. If you feel offended, think I'm talking about you, oh well. If I am talking about you, you know who you are. Shadiness is shadiness. Corruptness is corruptness. Now, I email people on the internet that I can see know how to do this paperwork, know how to do the paperwork process in the court system, all this and that, and they always ask for money. And I'm just scratching my head like, this is what has been implanted in us. We need money to do things that's going to bring peace and harmony in the city of Detroit, then it'll spread to the planet, to the county, to the state. And the people say, oh, he think his little issue going to bring peace and harmony. The way it's supposed to be implemented, I'm going to expose all the dirty details and secret of corruption and Satanism in our governmental, private, public business, and or et cetera. Now, that's what I'm going to expose. And some of these people that know how to do the paperwork, I'm emailing them, giving them all the information. I got a case right there. We get to sue them 2 times. And don't think you're going to get 3/3 of the settlement, because I'm talking about $900 billion, but I'm not going to get that. They're going to laugh at me. But if I ask for $6 million, they could probably give me $500,000. So when you say a crazy wild amount, you know you're going to get what you want and maybe possible more. But $900 billion is what I expect to get. And if you don't have the money, you're going to have to give me some property. Like we selling property to people who owe money. The city of Detroit owe money to. City of Detroit owe me $900 billion. Wayne County owe me $900 billion. State of Michigan owe me $900 billion. Federal government owe me $900 billion. So they're going to have to give me some property. Like the city of Detroit giving people who their creditors property. I want property too. You don't have my money, I want property. And I'm getting more than $6 million.